So often we fault bad teams for not just taking what's right in front of you. And in the beginning of the draft, it felt like that. Now, Andrew Thomas was the Giants' first pick at 4th overall. And, Junior, you talked about it last night as we were doing some digital stuff. Andrew Thomas wasn't necessarily the consensus top guy on everybody's board, but I don't think anybody looked at this as a shocking pick, right?
No, he was. I think he's my second tackle behind Jedrick Wills coming out of Alabama. But clean guy, has played both right and left tackle, so you've got some versatility there depending on how you want to allot those spots in New York. And if your job was to, all right, so come into this and say, if we weren't going to give him a weapon or if we weren't going to go defense, protect the franchise QB we drafted last year, you have a pretty good guy to do that.
And he fits that system pretty well too, doesn't he, with the Giants?
He does, and I think he's one of those guys because of the pedigree, like Georgia, Alabama, Wisconsin. A lot of these teams are scheme versatile in their offensive lines, and so you can come in and you can do a bunch of different things.
By the way, Georgia, both their tackles went in the first round. Isaiah Wilson goes to the Titans at 29, and I didn't have you to tweet to last night because you and Jason and Dominic Fosworth and Mina Kimes and others were doing your thing. So my only other offensive lineman guys out there were Cole Kublik and Jeff Schwartz. I'm tweeting at them saying, what do you guys think? I know there's 4 tackles. You kind of could have gone there. And so I guess it just comes down to, what do you think? What's your grade on that particular tackle and how does he fit your system?
Yep, and amongst those 4, and I think that's why the next interesting point outside of Isaiah Simmons falling to Arizona, huge win for the Cardinals in this draft, who we assumed were going to go tackle or maybe wide receiver, but when a player of that caliber all of a sudden goes down, that best available siren starts going off.
So that's always a thing in the draft, isn't it? Your need and then best player. Because for Arizona, my God, you look at either the O-line, I know they were talking possibly wide receiver as well because Larry's coming to the end of his time to match somebody with Kirk and with DeAndre Hopkins, but really O-line. But then it's wait a minute, it's Isaiah Simmons. That's the best guy on the thing. So I think that was one of your classic, okay, we may have thought this, but this is the best guy available right now, so we got to take him.
Well, it's a little like the college football debate. They always say, is it best team or is it most deserving? And I often say it's actually a combo. It's best of the most deserving. I think depending on what situation you're in, you're not always capable of just being able to look at it and say, okay, this is the guy we want, so we're going to take him because he's the best player on the board. It just happened to be, and it felt like throughout the course of the top 9, 10 picks that every team was following sort of the draft board, and it happened to be that the best player available filled a need for them across the board.
I was amazed, and I will continue to be amazed, that Isaiah Simmons got past Carolina.
Me too.
I thought for sure, and I understand Derek Brown is great.
Yeah. Derek Brown's a stud.
When I look at it, and again, if we're talking about best available, Isaiah Simmons is the second best player on defense in this draft at worst. You can make an argument, depending on who you are, that maybe your flavor of ice cream includes him over Chase Young in some world, but I was stunned he made it past Carolina once he fell past 4.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.